Hi, I'm Denny Dillan. This is my wife Cindy, and we are pastors at New Life Community Church in Pinehurst, Texas. And about 2.5 years ago, we went through a consecration process led by Fusion Ministries that absolutely revolutionized our lives. And the funny thing is that we were praying for the transformation of our own community. We've spent years praying that our community would be changed. And what happened was God changed us. God did something really radical in our lives. We had never dreamed that the Lord would ask us to sell our home that we'd lived in for 16 years and move into a depressed community because he wanted to bring change to that community. And so over time, we said yes to God. And about 6 weeks ago, we closed on the sale of our home and we moved into a community called Hazy Hollow. And it's a broken community. There's lots of devastation, and it's known for crime, it's known for drug addiction and poverty. And we're convinced that God wants to show himself strong in this community. And so we've moved in and we're meeting our neighbors, and God has really unearthed a vision for a couple of things. He has called us to be house parents to a couple of broken families where there's a single parent with children, and we are to bring them into our home and to just model what a Christian family ought to be. And that's the second phase of the ministry God's calling us to. The other is to build a park. We believe that God wants to take a land that has been defiled and devastated and desolate, and he wants to let his glory shine. And so God has challenged us to build a park that the community could use at their leisure, and then we would be able to call the people, our neighbors, in for various times where we would just share the gospel. It might be through a vacation Bible school, it might be through a Christian concert, but a way of gathering our neighbors into community and just enjoying relationship with each other. We believe God's called us to model that with families and with our neighbors. One of the things that we have seen a need in our own lives is to restore the family altar. God has really burdened us for that in our own home. And we're convinced that the Lord wants to reestablish the family altar in families all over the neighborhood that we live in. The family is on God's heart, and that's where he wants to do. I really think that's where he begins a real deep transforming work. Once he's transformed our own hearts, he wants that to penetrate our families. And then God can use us to make an impact on our neighbors. As our home literally becomes an embassy in that neighborhood, it becomes a place of refuge, if you will, where God can reign and people can come and find God's presence there and find him to be a source of strength and help. And so we're committed to making our home that kind of place.
Like Denny said, God started working in his heart about, it's probably about July of last year, and started calling us to this new ministry, and God started calling me too, I think. Denny took his time with me and said, I want God to call you too. He's got to call you. We've got to be a team. And so he just let the Lord deal with me, and he kind of winged me, I guess would be a good word, from my brick home in a nice subdivision, and I started feeling like I didn't really belong in that place anymore, and I was ready to move to another area where we downsized our home, and just excited about what he's going to do, where we're going.